In the heart of Okora, in a mansion lined with marble and memory, lived a man whose wealth was only rivaled by his heartbreak. Frank Tenga, a business magnate known for his brilliance in finance and his devotion to family, had lost his beloved wife, Layla, in a tragic car accident when their only son, Kibby, was just 12 years old. The love Frank had for his wife was unmatched. After her passing, he poured every ounce of love he had left into raising Kibby. The boy grew up surrounded by everything money could buy, but more importantly, by the warmth of a father who never let grief rob his child of love. But love, as life often teaches, doesn't always return in the way it's given. After years of solitude, Kibby, now a focused, kind, and promising young entrepreneur, noticed a flicker in his father's eyes. Frank had started seeing a woman named Wanda, a graceful single mother with a teenage son named Sam. Kibby was happy for him. Maybe, just maybe, his father could finally smile again. At first, Wanda was everything a grieving man could hope for: warm, supportive, and seemingly nurturing. But behind the silky voice and gentle smile was a venomous agenda. Wanda had no interest in love. She saw Frank Tenga as a jackpot, and the key to that treasure chest was removing Kibby from the picture. Over the years, she carefully crafted her web. She planted doubts in Frank's mind about his son's commitment to the family legacy, claiming Kibby was too soft and needed to be tested. She tried to pit Sam and Kibby against each other, engineering misunderstandings and faking theft incidents, only to heroically resolve them later, painting her son as noble and Kibby as immature. She manipulated Frank into creating a clause in his will: Kibby must be married by his 30th birthday, just 3 months away, or risk losing the entire inheritance to Sam. She cloaked it in sweet words: he needs a woman's influence to be truly grounded. Frank, desperate to build a complete family, agreed. Kibby saw the game. He knew his father wasn't the manipulator. He saw the guilt in his eyes, the confusion, the way Wanda pulled strings and soothed his doubts afterward. But he said nothing. Until one day, while driving home, he saw a young woman stranded beside her broken-down car, arguing with a coconut seller who was trying to offer technical support involving a rope and a bicycle. Frank stepped in, fixed her car, and changed both their lives. Her name was Araba. Bold, funny, witty. A freelance software developer who had just returned from the north to set up a tech hub for girls in rural areas. She wasn't dazzled by his car. She joked about his too clean hands for a mechanic. He liked her immediately. A week later, with the deadline creeping closer, he returned to her. "I know this will sound insane, but I need a favor, a marriage contract. Just for a week. I inherit everything after the wedding. Then you're free. I'll even pay you if that helps." Araba raised an eyebrow. "So, let me get this straight. You want to rent me for a week? Like Wi-Fi?" He laughed. She didn't. "Okay, let's make a deal," she said, "no payment. Just good food and free Wi-Fi for life." Their contract began like an awkward improvised skit. Dinner rehearsals, meet the parents training, and an unplanned kiss that felt far too real. They grew close. He loved her mind. She loved his heart. They began sending love notes instead of contract terms, snapping candid photos of each other when the other wasn't looking. They traveled out of town at weekends, and danced at a street festival, where Araba insisted on teaching him the real Ozonto. They quietly tore up the contract, both too shy to confess the truth. When Araba announced she was getting married in less than 2 months, to a man no one had met, her family panicked. Her mother, Auntie Inala: "You what? Married? To who? Is it a spell? That man has done something. Let's go to the prayer camp." Araba's younger brother, Mike, who had always been overly protective, narrowed his eyes. So a man in a Range Rover just fixed your car, and the next thing, you're his bride? That's not marriage, that's a Netflix series. Her father, Uncle Joe, a retired teacher known for quoting proverbs at odd times, shook his head slowly. The chicken that dances before the drumbeat has either seen the drummer or gone mad. Araba laughed off their concerns but understood their panic. To calm them, she invited Kibby for dinner. He arrived with gifts for everyone. He impressed the family with his humility, his calm voice, and his willingness to wash his own plate. Auntie Inola was especially won over when he complimented her salted tilapia and even asked for extra pepper sauce. Still, they were worried. But Araba sat her parents down later and spoke from her heart. I know it looks fast. But he respects me. He listens to me. He's not marrying me to fix me. He just sees me. And I see him too. Her father blinked back tears. Auntie Inola said nothing for a moment, then nodded. Fine. But if he does nonsense, I still have my walking stick. It's not for decoration. Wanda was many things, but she was not stupid. To her, the wedding was too sudden. Too clean. No family drama. No exes resurfacing. No pregnancy rumors. No accidental Facebook leaks. Just peace. It smelled off. She began to notice strange things. Araba had no known past. Wanda couldn't find any social media scandals, ex-boyfriends in the area, or missed calls showing up randomly. What kind of modern woman was this? She hired a friend's cousin, Kojo the barber, part-time investigator, to dig up dirt. Nothing. Araba was clean as holy water and sharper than a lawyer in court. One evening, she overheard part of a conversation between Kibby and Araba from behind the hallway curtain. They were talking about how long before it's over, and when to reveal the truth. She couldn't hear everything, but it was enough to send alarm bells ringing. She ran to her son. They are faking it. It's a setup to trick your father. I'll expose them at the wedding. I saw an envelope in his briefcase, probably the contract. We'll grab it, and we'll finish them in front of everyone. Just wait. The night before the wedding, Wanda and Sam broke into Kibby's study and stole the envelope marked, Private Wedding Agreement. They snuck it out, giggling and victorious. What they didn't know. Araba had seen a curtain flutter earlier. She and Kibby knew they'd been overheard. So they replaced the original contract with letters, photos, and inside jokes, even one hand-drawn cartoon of Kibby proposing with a flat tire in the background. On the wedding day, the church hall bloomed with beautiful flowers and rich decor. Araba walked down the aisle glowing, and Kibby smiled like a man who had won more than an inheritance, he had found home. Meanwhile, Wanda and Sam were scheming backstage. She had found what she believed was the contract in Kibby's briefcase. She waited until just before the vows. Stop this wedding! Wanda shouted. The crowd gasped. She pulled out the envelope and waved the contract. Here. See. They're scamming you. This marriage is fake. Frank froze. Ushers opened the envelope and pulled out pictures of Araba and Kibby laughing under a mango tree. A page with reasons I love Araba in Kibby's handwriting. A poem she had written him in code. Wanda's face strained. Araba turned to her. You were looking for a contract. We wrote love letters instead. Sam tried to slip away. But too late. Guests began whispering. Old stories resurfaced. One woman stepped forward. She scammed my brother the same way, left him broke. Another spoke up, she faked a pregnancy for a man in America. Wanda's past flooded the room. She was escorted out with Sam, who blamed her in whispers. Frank sat quietly during the reception, ashamed. But his son walked over and hugged him. "You were just looking for love, Papa. Just like I was." That evening, Frank bumped into the wedding planner's auntie, Ella, a vibrant widow who ran a successful book club. She teased him for looking like a confused coconut. They danced. 3 months later, they married in a quiet garden ceremony. This time, for no inheritance, just joy. Kibby and Araba combined their passions, her love for tech, and his business acumen. Together, they traveled across the country, expanding opportunities and building communities. They laughed often, fought occasionally, loved deeply. Love built on lies crumbles under truth. But love built on truth can outwit even the most cunning lies. Don't rush to replace what was lost. And when life presents a second chance, whether in love, business, or redemption, take it, but with wisdom. What is your takeaway from this story? Share in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that entertain, inspire, and uplift.